Good evening and welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show. Today we have on Seb Byford. Seb is also the son of Biff, but they have a great project out called Heavy Water, and it's heavy. There's a couple ballady songs in there. We'll get into it. I want to say I've been checking out this album. It's really, really good. It's the sounds, I wouldn't even be able to classify it to a certain genre. Would you be able to say you have a certain influence or something? Because I hear a lot of different things.
Yeah, I guess there's quite of there's a bit of a mix on there. We kind of wanted it to be a bit different, so then it's something, a bit different for Dad to do apart from the Saxon stuff, and it gives me the opportunity to do something different as well. So I guess, yeah, there's a bit of a 90s feel in there.
Okay.
But also, I guess kind of obviously, like you said, there's a few ballads. It's a bit more, maybe a bit more chilled and psychedelic. But yeah, we just wanted it to be a mixed match of all our influences just put on an album, basically.
I did hear some riffs. I felt like the 90s, but I hate to just classify something. But I also felt I heard some like kind of 70s. The balladies kind of felt like the kind of 70s. But I also feel there's some really just pure metal in there too.
For sure. I mean, my main influences maybe like they come from the 70s, and obviously Dad's a big kind of 70s fan. A lot of the Cream stuff and a lot of the Zeppelin stuff. But yeah, I guess there's a mix. Some are a bit more 70s, and then we kind of brought in the riff on some as well.
What I think, obviously, the challenges you're going to have is obviously your dad being who he is. Like he's because his dad. You really rock. Yeah. You've got a great voice. You play guitar great. I mean, you really are a standalone musician. And I think sometimes when people get in the spotlight, it's like, well, this is your chance to shine too. I think your dad's really doing a good collaboration with you because together this is fantastic. Because this is not like your dad's music either. I mean, your dad is, fantastic. But this speaks on its own, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not, you doing something with your dad, kind of like, it stands alone. I mean, not knowing who you were, it would just be a really great rock record. So that's just what I want to put out there to the fans, that it's just unto its own, okay?
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We had such a good time making it, and it's getting some good feedback so far. So we're really pleased with how it's turned out.
I want to say, a couple of things like working with a family member, whatever. Like, I don't even think I could have ever worked at, made a dinner with my dad. So envious that you can actually record an album with your dad and you guys are still talking. It's fantastic.
And it's a great experience, obviously, because not many people get to kind of, make and write a record with their dad. So I think, for us, just me and him doing that, what we got from that personally, we've got some memories, that we can, share for a lifetime. Then we've got something, in physical form that we can listen to kind of remind us of it. So, it was super good fun. And, surprisingly not many fallouts. It went fairly smooth. But, whether you're making an album, with your dad or, your mates, there's going to be a few clashes here and there. But it went pretty smoothly. We were really pleased.
Working with a family member. Did you guys find it more talent? Like, I always think when people are like related, like it's always good. Like if you guys sing together, you have a certain vocal style together. There's certain DNA. Did you find that? Yeah. Like you guys blend better vocally or write songs a certain way?
Yeah, and I guess because we started out doing we did like some videos on YouTube where we did a few Saxon
I watched those.
Covers.
Those were fun.
So I think it kind of started as we started doing them, and then obviously we hadn't really played together before that. We'd had a few jams here and there, but when we did them, and people seemed to really like it, and we kind of thought, well, why not make some music together? Because of lockdown, Dad wasn't touring, and I wasn't doing any shows with my other project. So we've got a studio in one of the barns around the back, so we thought, why not give it a go and just write some music together? And then we started playing, and we liked the way it sounds, so we thought we'd release it like under a name. So yeah.
Are you guys going to do any playing with this out with COVID, like together going?
Plans? It's not ruled out, obviously, because when everything kicks off again, Dad's going to be pretty busy touring with Saxon and stuff. So if he's not busy, and I'm not busy, and enough people want to see it, and we're in a position where we can, play some shows and there'll actually be people there, then it's not off the cards. Maybe like a few one-off festival slots or something. We'll see.
That'll be fun. How How are the Saxon fans reacting to it? You getting a lot of love, or you getting a lot of that's not Saxon, like hardcore?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. I mean, I think people like it because it is something different, you know. Because it's almost like you can't really compare them. Because if we did like an album that sounded similar to Saxon, people would like, there's more kind of room to criticize it and be, nitpick it. But I think because it is very different to the stuff Dad's done, I think some of the Saxon fans are like, oh, it's quite refreshing. So yeah, obviously there's a few people that are like, there's not enough of this and not enough of that. But with everything, that's the way it goes. But mostly, yeah, it's been really positive feedback. So we're really, really stoked.
That's excellent. I'd like to see you tour. So I'd like to see you continue this on, whether it's within pockets of time with albums over the years, kind of squeaking these out. This would be great,
Yeah, for sure.
What about like video releases over the next year to kind of keep the album going?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, because obviously we've released, I think all the singles are out. Yeah. All the singles are out now until the album. So maybe we'll do like do another little video for one of the songs. But I think we might, depending what's going on and stuff, maybe a second album is on the cards. We're not sure yet. So, but if we can do that, we'll probably just start cracking on with that ASAP. So, yeah.
With the virus and everything. So besides that, what else are you doing? Music? What else are you going to be doing? As your dad starts playing his thing, what else do you do?
Well, I'm actually in. I'm in another band called. We're just in the process of kind of getting it set up and stuff. But the band is called Sun King. And just hopefully going to get in the studio as soon as possible and get some music out there.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, is it similar? So your style kind of similar to this album?
No, it's fairly different actually. It's kind of funk soul stuff with like a bit of a kind of 60s influence in there, kind of sort of Beatlesy, but also a bit like a bit jazzy in parts and soul-y, because that's kind of my jam. I mean, that's kind of the stuff I listen to. But when I was younger, I was more into the kind of the riffs and stuff, and so I've got loads of riffs.
Well, because this album
sure.
I sound like Saxon. It felt like it had a lot of your influence in it, but it really isn't as much of your sound either. Solo, so like separately, you guys have two totally different sounds.
Yeah,
and this
that's
album is totally different than all the other sounds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why it's quite nice, for us to do stuff like this, because it gives us both an outlet to kind of do something different. Because I don't really kind of do that sort of stuff with my own project. It's quite nice for me to, be in a band where I can play the riffs and, really like let loose. And it's nice for Dad to do something loose and do the same, something new. So, yeah. So, yeah.
How do you approach your songwriting on this album? Do you like concepts and ideas and writing and stuff? Did you guys were?
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of the music, like some riffs were like pretty old riffs that I'd had lying around for years that I hadn't used. And, Dad had a few guitars, a few ideas on the guitar and bass. So we kind of just, brought everything together and kind of chucked some away and then worked on some and stripped them down and whatnot. And then, we really came together when we were doing like the vocals, the lyrics and melodies, because obviously as both being singers, we had to figure out how to kind of balance it, not do every song he sings, I sing, vice versa, some are like that, but we didn't want the whole album to just be, one song's his, one song's mine. So on quite a lot of them, we spent a lot of time figuring out the harmonies and stuff and a way to actually like blend me and him together into one kind of a unit. So it's really good fun working on.
You actually do a really good job of it. There are times I'm like, wait, who's that? Because you did. There are some really good, and that's what I was talking about, like that vocal DNA of a father and son, or a father and daughter, mother's daughter. You know what I'm saying? The DNA is like you guys kind of blend together. You vocally on some levels,
Yeah.
Not that you can go out and sing his stuff solo, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, he's obviously, he's been listening to me sing since I started playing music, and I've been listening to, been watching and listening to him sing for years. So I think we obviously, we know each other very well and sort of where to push each other and stuff. So it's super good fun.
What were you guys using for gear on this? What kind of guitars are you using? What's your setup?
We were using all sorts actually. We used tone wise, the amps, we're using a Fender twin reverb, like a 70s one. Just a Marshall combo, and guitar wise, the Gibson Les Paul, a Dan Electro,
Oh,
an old
really?
SG. Yeah. And yeah, just because I find with some of the like the Dan Electros and stuff, you can kind of get that thin kind of
Would you use that
gravelly
on?
sound.
Which
'Cause I
one?
wanted the guitars to be I think it was like Solutions on the main riff, and also on Follow This Moment on the more jingly jangly kind of sound that was a bit brighter.
Okay.
But
I'll
I
have to go
think,
back and listen to that some more.
yeah, but pedals wise, so I'm well into my like influence, for sort of guitar sounds. I like a lot of Jack White, Black Keys, and all that sort of stuff. So I kind of wanted it to be very fuzzy. We used a lot of Big Muff, and there's a pedal called the Swollen Pickle, which is like it's basically like a Big Muff but with more knobs on it to kind of tweak it a bit more. We use that quite a lot, and a Deja Vibe, obviously the Wild and Revolution. But Dad was actually playing an old 60s Rickenbacker, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, so he really likes that. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, there's a few other little bits here and there, but that was the mainly what we used.
This is interesting. It's a good sound. It's heavy. It's a heavy sound though. For the classic pieces you were using for equipment, it really just sounds heavy.
Yeah, and I think that's what we want to do. Keep it as simple as possible, but still, kind of roaring in your face. We want it to be.
It's deep. It's like thumping.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. Not too many complicated guitar solos or whatever, because I think sometimes in metal music and rock it's all about like everyone's waiting for that solo, and I love solos, don't get me wrong, big Hendrix fan and all that, but I think with this we just kind of wanted to keep it straight to the point, short and snappy songs that kind of just have a bit more oomph and groove to them instead of just like noodling about all the time. So
excellent. So this has really been fantastic. What I was going to say is, if you guys are touring, we'll put up any of your touring stuff on this page. We'll put all your links. I want everybody to check you guys out, your videos. You guys are really, it's really funny that it feels like it's kind of like a project because it came out of COVID, because there's so much of it out there right now. It feels like, oh, it's just another thing. But when you really listen to it, it's not. It doesn't sound like it's just like a project. It's a full-on album that just belongs, rightfully so, in a collection of, rock albums. So I hope you guys do more and don't make this as a one-off, because it's really good. And I'd love to see you guys play out somewhere. I mean, if you could sneak it in somewhere, or like a live stream, or like a full show instead of, because you guys have already been doing the small ones, you and your dad. You know what I mean? Kind of cool if you not do something in your studio, some kind of studio recording.
Definitely. Yeah, because we could do something online or something.
Right. I mean, God, you have your own studio right there. I'd be there all the time if I was you.
Absolutely.
I'm recording everything. With that, actually, who did all the full-on production? I mean, the mix, the sound, like it's kind of really great sound.
Yeah, like Jackie did the mixing. Jackie, he does the sound engineer for Saxon. And we recorded the drums at studio in York, just down the road. And then we just did the drums, and then the rest just me and my dad did. So we pretty much produced it all ourselves, really, and then just got it mixed and mastered at the end. Because I think that way, even then we're not, because when you're in the studio, time is money. Like if you're running out of time and you've got to pay more, and it's all like, there's a bit too much pressure. But, because we could just go next door and just sit in the barn and kind of slowly work at it. It gave us the freedom to actually try stuff out without someone being there kind of watching over us all the time. We could just, mess about and do what we wanted, really.
No, it really sounds good. I mean, it's funny. Everyone always has to go out for the drum sound, though. People have home studios, but when they record the drums for anything, they always go out to a professional.
It's always the drums, like, because we were going to do the drums ourselves, and we're just like, oh, it's you want to take that burden away, because then you've got to spend ages setting it up, and even when you do get a good sound, you'll always be like, oh, is that right? Could we done it better? So just let
3 days of
yeah.
How's the sound there? Move the mic to the left an inch.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I liked it the other way. No, try the other mic.
Yeah. So let someone else do that.
Well, a good drum sound is important, and it does have it. And I mean, thank goodness you either had the time to realize you didn't have the patience, or you didn't want to risk the sound. Because I mean, a bad drum sound can really kill an album. And
for sure.
I don't think enough people realize that.
Yeah, well, I think especially with rock music and stuff, you need a pretty fat drum sound. Otherwise, you're adding all this stuff around something that's hasn't got the ability to carry it. So you've got to definitely work around something fat and chunky.
So you were recording this album, so you started writing it during COVID because after you guys did the streaming, so you did that for a while. So how long did it take you guys to record and do the album roughly? Because it's already out. I mean,
we actually did it pretty quick. We managed to get it all done within like a month and a half. You know, we spent like a week or two just writing them, and then we kind of were writing, recording as we're going, and then pretty much like most of it done in a month, and then just mixing and stuff after. So
you wrote a lot on the first album. You wrote a lot of the album in a week too, roughly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. About that.
It's like a new band starting out, and they go to the studio right away with all their songs, right? And they blasted out the first album, and then afterwards it takes forever to make the rest of the songs.
Yeah, no, yeah, but some were obviously harder than others, but you know, some they kind of just wrote themselves almost. They kind of just happened, and then we had it. Because we spent quite a lot of time on the melodies and stuff. But I think once you've got the music down, you know, and the music, if the music's strong, then you can, you know, working on the melodies and lyrics and stuff is quite fun. I think it's a bit more enjoyable if you're really happy with like how the music sounds. So,
okay. Last question is, what is your favorite song today of the album?
Well, of the Heavy Water
today, because it'll change every day. Yeah, today, yeah.
I think it's Follow This Moment on that record. That's definitely my favorite. For me, that song kind of really sums up the whole experience. It's something that's, you know, it's one of the lighter ones, and just the lyrics and the melodies and the flow of it. For me, that kind of is as part of my dad's kind of relationship in that song. So I've got a very strong bond to that one.
That's cool. I'm torn between Medicine Man and Faith right now as of today, but it changes like most things.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You like the bluesy ones.
Yeah. I like a lot of different stuff. So I really, that was a big thing with the album, because I didn't know going into it what the sound was going to be. I didn't expect us generically, because that'd be just too lazy. I think that I wasn't expecting that. But I was like, wow, the fact that a lot of songs sound even different from each song was a pleasant surprise, because I like that. You know.
Yeah, well, that's how we wanted it to be. You know. Oh, I'm back. You got me.
And we're back.
But yeah, we wanted it to be like a mix mash of all different stuff. You know, whether Saxon fans like it or not, I don't think, you know, even my dad wasn't too bothered. We weren't writing it for Saxon fans. We just wanted it to be a great album that appeals to anyone that's, you know, willing to listen to it, I guess.
Well, I think once you write for somebody else, even being in Saxon, writing for Saxon fans, you're already on a losing streak, because, you know, I mean, you're trying to appease other people. You just got to write for you, and you're already who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And because Saxon have, you know, such a big following, and, you know, you don't want to we wouldn't want to do something similar, you know, and go out there and release an album that just sounds like Saxon under a different name. It'd be pointless. So I think, you know, the fact that it's quite a different sound and is quite fresh for us is the reason it's probably doing so well, is because people are they're interested. It's interesting, you know, it's something a bit different.
Very cool. Well, we will be looking for your stuff coming out, and I'll be, maybe when you get your new album, your other album together, your other project, or your band rather, Sun King. I'd love to have you back. We'll talk about it and promote it. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be amazing. Okay. Yeah, wicked.
We'll keep this going. All right. I will post this, and everything will be underneath the video, so you can go check them out, get the album, they get tons of videos out, and look for them. Hopefully they can sneak in a gig somewhere in this COVID world of who knows what's going on.
Yeah, right, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being on the show, man. You take care.
Yeah, take care, mate.
Okay.
See you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.